Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our new Eplan Platform 2022 presentation. As the name indicates, we have renamed our platform, and instead of using the old-fashioned version numbers, we are using new modern state-of-the-art naming conventions such as years in which the software will be distributed. Before we jump into the software, let me introduce myself. My name is Patrick Mulherrin. I've been with Eplan since 1993, so around 27 years now, and went through the various different departments, mostly in the technical aspect, working in the technical support, international technical support, Eplan consulting, Eplan training, and now I'm part of the product management team supporting the products such as Eplan Electric P8, Eplan Fluid, and Eplan Pre-Planning. So today it is my pleasure and my joy to present to you the new user environment that we created for our users worldwide. If we take a look at the platform, again, the platform is the technology underlying all of our solutions. So the platform helps you to manage all of your controls data that has been edited, entered, created, or deleted through our various different solutions. So the platform is the core technology. And all of those solutions provide you with a user interface. And the user interface is relatively similar. And now we have revamped it to support state-of-the-art technology. And also our integration with Eplan Epulse, which are all of our cloud-based applications, has been strengthened. So better integration into the platform, better availability of those different applications within your design environment. And of course, our interfaces to mechanical engineering, to ERP, PDM systems, as well as software programming environments are still available and ready for you to use. So let's jump right in. First off, a little bit of information on our confidentiality and liability agreement. And here we go. The new platform 2022, what we did is we looked at the current user interface that we made available to our user, and it was not state of the art anymore to have our current environment. So we decided to revamp it. In addition to that, modern software tools are switching over to topics like the dark mode and making it more user-friendly in terms of visuals as well as usability within that environment. So now we have the dark mode and the light modes are available in Eplan. Our icons and our dialogues have been adapted more and more to the cloud-based applications that we have. We have a new Backstage View that allows you to focus on project-specific tasks. We have now the ribbon bar technology that we've implemented in our software that you're familiar with from tools or applications like Office products, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, or even Visio and other tools as well. We have a new Insert Center, which helps you to focus on your design tasks. And what we are trying to do through the changeover of our graphical user interface is to allow new users and also existing users to organize their work better, to find the functionality that they need better, and to quickly access the needed functionality at the time. So at the end of the day, it's a modern look and feel for a new environment, and it'll help new users to get started quicker with the software. And also, if you don't use the software for a while and you jump right back in, you'll find a familiar environment and an easy way to navigate. So welcome to the dark mode and welcome to the light mode. So depending on which side you prefer, if you like the dark environment, which is easier on the eyes, you can switch to that. Or if you like the classic light environment, more brighter environment, you can easily switch between the two modes. So we have both modes are now available with the new platform 2022. We've implemented the ribbons technology. As I mentioned, if you're familiar with Office products like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, well, you'll jump right in and you'll understand exactly what these ribbons are. It's a combination of large symbols, smaller symbols, text, to be able to easily identify the functionality behind each one of those buttons. And we group them in various different tabs that are very specific to workflow. So first of all, we wanted to make an easy access to functionality. In the software today, if we look at the menus, we had over 2,000 functions that were structured in menus. So now what we've done is we've taken those 2,000 functions and we've exposed them through the user interface to the user so he can see them and he can access them a lot easier and a lot quicker. So we've simplified the menu structure. If you're familiar with the version today, we had 3 level deep of menus and structures. Now we've got 1 level, or carried in the tabs. We have maybe a sub menu sometimes available there, but that's it. So very easy and quickly way to access the required functionality. We've simplified our icons. So as I mentioned, we reorganized over 2,000 menus, but we've also, for each menu, added an icon. And we've simplified the icons. Long gone the days of 16 million colored icons, and welcome to the more streamlined, easy to read, easier to understand type of icons that make the interaction to the user a lot easier as well. We wanted to provide a better understanding for new users, somebody that just is brand new in the Eplan platform and wants to start with it. Well, just the visualization, the organization of the menus make it easy to jump in and to start working with the software, minimizing the request for understanding where everything is structured and stored. We wanted to also provide grouping of functionality because today, through the menu structure, functions were scattered around the software when they should have been grouped together to help the user work on his specific tasks. And we now have a new Tell Me What You Want to Do area. So it's not a command line, but if you search for a topic, you just type in the action or the command, and the system will automatically give you a list of available actions and you can select them quickly. So even without navigating through the menus or the tabs, you can easily select the function, type it in, and quickly access it. So again, we are focused really on typical workflows, simplification of the access within the software, and making it a lot easier for new users to start working with our software. Let's jump right in. So there it is, the new Eplan Platform 2022. And as you see, we start off with a Home tab, and the Home tab carries most of your tasks that you carry or that you do on a day-to-day basis. We provide you with an Insert tab with all of your insert functionality, an Edit tab if you need to modify existing graphical entities, a View tab with various different options to turn on or off, such as your insertion points if you need to. A Device tab, which provides you with functionality specific to all the different types of devices in the software, which PLC devices, the terminals, the pins, or your general devices. Connections tab, which is all of your interconnections between the various different components, such as wires, cables, general connections, your potentials, all of that functionality is found right here. A Tools tab that provides you with tools to work on the project automatically, such as check your project for error messages, or if you want to generate your report, or general structure identifier management topics. Your translation is available here. We have a pre-planning tab if you work with Eplan pre-planning, or most of the functionality can be found in here. And your master data tab that has everything to do with your master data, such as your macros, such as your parts, such as your forms or your plot frames. And finally, we have your Epulse environment, which collects all of your available apps that you have access to in Epulse and are made available directly from here. So if you wanted your data portal, you just simply go to your Epulse, select your data portal, and the dialog for your data portal with your login credentials are also available right here to use directly. And as we mentioned before, we have our tell me what you want to do. So if I type in settings, I have directly access to my settings environment, and here we can go to our user settings, go to our display settings and our user interface, and here we can easily switch between the dark and the light mode. So just without having to restart the software, you can swap between a light mode environment, and the dark mode environment, depending on your preferences and the environment you want to work with. So there it is, your light mode. So I prefer the dark mode, so I'm going to switch back to the dark mode. I really like it. It's kind of easier on the eyes for me, and it's also very modern and looks very nice. So from a user environment perspective, we've also moved a couple of the functionality around to make it easier to access for the users. So if we look down at the bottom here, we have a couple of the status bar, and here you have access to your various different grids. You can turn the grid on or turn it off. You can visualize the information, but also your zooming functionality is always now available in the environment. You can zoom 100%, zoom windows, and everything is available here from your status bar. On the left-hand side, you see your various different dialogues or navigators. Here you have the page navigator, and you can organize as well as tabs your device navigators, but that's pretty standard and common functionality that you use today. Instead of having the dialog of the properties having to open and close, we select your icon here, and you can visualize the device properties right here and modify them if needed. So easily and readily accessible dialog or component properties throughout the graphical editor. So that's the new ribbons bar and new icons. We implemented in the Platform 2022 the Backstage View, as you're familiar with in Excel or Word. If you want to work on your files or you want to work on your options, you select the Backstage View, and then you have a consolidated environment of functionality for those particular topics. Well, in Eplan, you work with projects, so everything related to the projects, we decided to move over to the Backstage View. So what that does, that helps us to consolidate all of the project-specific tasks in one single area. We were able, through the Backstage View, to also centralize all of the import and export functionality. Before, depending on the tasks at hand, you were selecting a menu and you had to find the import for that, and the export was in a different menu. Now we've consolidated everything into one environment. So anything import, export, you will find it here in the Backstage View, making it easy for the user to access. It makes it easy for the user to navigate through project functionality. So anything regarding the project, open a project, close the project, copy. You can also modify project information. You will find everything specific to the project in the Backstage View. And also it helps us declutter the UI, the user interface. If you looked at your graphical editor, you would see a menu for projects, or you would see project functionality that was not necessary at the time because you work on your graphical editing tasks. So all of those tasks are specific to on a page, to the devices, but not to projects. So we moved all of those to the Backstage View, so it makes the user interface on a day-to-day basis a lot more streamlined. So we focused on the project, made it easier to access all of the project relevant tasks and information. Let's take a look. You'll find the Backstage View under File. So if you click on File, we switch back now to our project specific environment. So here you got the project name, project location, all of the project properties. You can look at the statistics specific to the project, how many pages of each, when were these pages modified, and you can also look at the status of your error check, when was it last run, available right here. If you want to open a project, you can select Open. You have all of your most recent used project right here, clearly visible. And if you go to Browse, not only can you open your projects, but also you have access to your backup files. So instead of going to restoring a backup file in a separate menu, everything has now been consolidated into the Open Project menu, making it easier for the user to access. If we look at our print interface, is now also in the Backstage View. So you've got a preview of the page, and we consolidated a lot of the printing menus that were scattered through our menu structure previously into one environment, easy to use and easy to visualize as well. As we mentioned, all of your import and export capabilities have been centralized into one environment. So here you see your project data import, your layout space import, your master data import. We've created also new icons to make it easier to visualize and understand the content. Here are export functionality. We have manufacturing data, machines, so all of the Rittal machines can be directly exported from here in a centralized environment. So this really helps the user to navigate through Eplan, understanding my project-specific information and also my daily work environment, which is page-based, which is my device-specific information. Brand new in the Platform 2022 is the Insert Center. What is the Insert Center? The Insert Center is a one-stop shop. We have consolidated 7 different dialogues into one. Previously, if you wanted to insert a symbol, you had an insert dialog or insert symbol dialog. If you wanted to insert a macro, you had 2 or 3 different ways to insert the macro. If you wanted to insert a device, you could insert it as a insert from the menu or have a separate dialog open. So there were various different ways to insert content into your design. And each environment was different. Whether you were inserting a symbol, you had different options. If you were inserting a macro, you were navigating the hard drive. So we tried to make that approach a lot easier on the user. And we've created this Insert Center where now it's literally a one-stop shop where you can find all of your functions, objects that are needed or that you need to insert into your design. We also added the favorite. A favorite is, like you know from the browser, if you like this page and you want to quickly access it, you mark it as a favorite, you go to your favorites and you open it up quickly without having to search for it. So now either a symbol, either a device or a macro can be marked as a favorite, and if you go to your favorite area, you can have all of the most used symbols that you need accessible right there and then. We have added the tags functionality. So tagging means that I can type in a specific tag and tag a symbol, I can tag a part, and I can tag a macro. So now I can combine symbols, macros, and parts within one tag, and I can quickly access those symbols for that particular tag, which makes workflow-oriented working a lot easier and a lot more convenient. We've integrated into the Insert Center the visualization as well. So instead of having a separate dialog, a preview, now everything is integrated in there. So whether it's a symbol, a macro, or a device, you can visualize it directly in the Insert Center. And we've had full search capability. So if you wanted to search for motor, you had to insert symbol, look for motor, or you had to insert a device, look for motor, or you had to insert a macro, look for motor. Now you just look for motor and it'll scan your symbols, your macros, and your parts for that particular text, and it will display the results so for you to quickly access them. And it's always available in the graphical user interface or the graphical editor, which means that if you have multiple graphical editors open, you will have multiple insert centers available for each graphical editor, making the availability of the function exactly where the user expects it to be a lot easier for access and workability. So faster access to symbols, macros, and devices from one consolidated environment, the one-stop shop for your tasks. Let's take a look. The Insert Center is now here on the side of the graphical editor. You can have it either as a pullout or you can fix it and have it permanently available depending on your preference. So you can see here you have a home button to get to the home. You can have a back button to access, to go back multiple steps. And now let's, for example, search for motor. So I'm just going to type in the word motor and I'm going to search the database for motor. And here we've got 118 symbols that have that text either in the name or in the description. We've got 13 devices and 35 macros. So here, by opening the different categories, I can see all of the symbols that were relevant to that particular text, my devices in my parts management that have that text, or my macros that have been labeled with a description or a name according to motor. If I go to my recent, here are the most recently used symbols that are available, so I can quickly access those as well. Here are my favorites. So any symbol that I find that I like, I can label it here as a favorite. That's the star, and it's available in my favorite category. If I go to my tags, in my tags here I've got motor tags. So in this case I have a couple of symbols, I have a macro, I have some devices that help me to create a motor starting circuit. So if we want to take a look at that, I'm just going to open up a new page, and now I can just take this motor, drag this motor onto the page. I'm going to label and tag that motor. Then I can select a motor protection device. Again, just drag and drop that device into the page. Now, if I wanted to select a different device, for example, this motor protection here from my parts management, I would do the same thing. Take that part, just drag it into the page, and the system would give me the symbol specific to that part number. If I wanted to place some terminals, I would just drag those terminals, drag it across, drop them onto my drawing. So you can see, without having to change dialogues and to open up different dialogues for symbols, for devices, and for macros, the user can quickly and easily lay out his design environment. But if you want to simply use a macro, there it is, you can also drop a complete macro directly from that environment. So the tagging of your components and the organizing of your components completely up to you, and you can identify however tag you want, however you want to have it, and the system makes it available now in the user interface. So the insert center is nice and easy to use. It helps you to consolidate your various different steps. The new platform 2022 has a new graphical engine for 2D. So when you work in your 2D environment, we swapped out the graphical engine underlying that graphical editor. And the benefits are quite clear, because we are using more state-of-the-art, more modern technology. First of all, it helps us generate smoother and more realistic graphics, meaning there are not jagged edges. Now it's really smooth edges, and also the speed of rendering into the graphical editor has been improved significantly. Much faster display of graphics. So when you work with DXF or DWG files that are very graphic intensive, if you import those files into the platform, now you'll be able to work with them seamlessly. So zooming in, zooming out, panning, selecting, and moving graphical entities around will be really easy and much faster than before. We also have a much better display of the text, so using that new Direct 2D engine really gave us some new capabilities in the way that we render the text, in the way we display the text. And you'll notice as well in the selection criteria of the environment how much better that environment is. And also we wanted to take advantage of hardware accelerated devices. I mean, whether you look at the graphical processing unit, you want to send all of your graphical tasks to that graphical processing unit to enhance the performance of the software. And Direct 2D allows you to do that. So through the use of that new technology, we are able to take advantage of hardware accelerated tools. So faster and smoother display of text and graphical objects. So if we look at the software here, I'm just going to go back to this page here. So again, much quicker zooming in, zooming out. You notice the selection has changed. If I select from left to right, which have to select the entire object, or I select from right to left, you have different colors giving indications to the user that the information has also changed. So again, zooming in, zooming out, much cleaner graphics in terms of rendering and display. So you're going to be, since you work a lot of the time inside of your graphical user interface or your graphical editor, you will notice some significant performance enhancements to help your daily tasks complete much quicker and much faster. The new parts management. Well, if we look at the current parts management, it came to an end in terms of technology. We were using Access and was really limiting the environment that we were working with. We physically came to our limits. So we needed a new technology. We needed something more modern to handle more data. And the more we move forward, the more data manufacturers or companies are going to deliver us for each component. So we need to provide an environment where the software can handle all of that data. And if need be, we can also add additional data to it. So we needed to have a new technology to help us there. So now we've switched the technology over. So we have a database-driven, object-oriented, database-driven technology that's going to help us manage all that data and also provide us with new ways of displaying the information to make it easier for the user. So we can configure the display of parts. So previously it was fixed and embedded in the software. There were fixed fields, fixed tabs, so the information was only displayed in one specific environment. Now you can configure that view. So we've added the schemes technology that we are using in our platform to easily configure what attributes you want to display, how you want to display them. You can create multiple configurations based on what you need to view or modify. So it makes it a lot easier for the user to access. Much better access to the relevant data. If a user is working on mounting dimensions of his components, well, he wants to just see 3 or 4 fields. So he can create a scheme, put those 4 fields in that scheme, and quickly access those fields for every part that he looks at, or for multiple selections of parts. We consolidated the tabs. If you looked at the parts management today, we had so many tabs that it was sometimes difficult to visualize the actual text or what the content of those tabs were. So now we have consolidated those tabs, made it easier for those users to read the information, and also less tabs are available because we're able, through our display of information, to consolidate the information much better. And also it provides us with a more flexible use of the space. If you work in a forms environment, you have to specify the space you need for the display text and for the content. Now, since we have this grid display and flexible configuration of that display, we can make a much better use of the space. And as you can see on the picture here, we've integrated the viewing capability as well of the part. So an object-oriented parts management for more performance, more flexibility, and scalability for the futures. Let's take a look at it. So from the platform, you can simply go to your master data environment. And one thing we have here is our parts management, but you have directly access here to the settings. So you can switch to the right parts management that you need right here and there from this environment without going to the settings environment. I'm going to launch here the parts management, and let's take a look at this new parts management in version 2022. So similar as the old one, you have your tree view or your list view on the left-hand side that allows you to quickly navigate through the various different groups, the different categories, and you can visualize your parts quite easily. So if I select a part, I can see a preview of the part. I have an overview tab where I can view specific information, just general information on the part. And if you look at the part description, a lot of times this field is quite convoluted with information. So if you want to make it easier to read, you can say, I'd like to display this on 5 specific lanes, and it'll enhance the field to visualize the information a lot better. We have a properties tab. This properties tab allows you to view it in a tree view. So here are your general properties, here's your data properties, your mounting data properties, and you can switch it to, for example, just general information. Here you can view the list view without the categories, or you can also view all of the properties or just the properties with values in those properties. Or if you want to use the user configurable ones, you can create your own scheme and store information specific to what you want to see. In this case, mounting data, you've got here your dimensions, and you can here have your mounting clearances that are quickly and easily accessible. So a very nice way to organize the information, especially when you see how much data manufacturers are now providing with their parts. So you'll notice a tremendous improvement in the performance as well. Managing thousands and thousands of parts will be a lot easier. And if we talk about editing parts, typically you would edit the parts, or users love to edit the parts in Excel. Well, now we have the complete edit properties externally functionality, which means that what you are used to in the platform, by taking the information, exporting it to Excel, making modifications, and importing it back into the platform, is completely available now in the parts management. So now you can edit your parts externally in Excel, modify them, and bring them back in to the parts management. So a tremendous improvement in the whole management of parts. In addition to that, we've also improved in the variants, in the variant management. Previously, a variant only had a subset of information associated to the variant. So there was a main set of information that was common to all variants, and only a subset could be different. We've integrated all of the parts information into the variant. So a variant from one to the other can be completely different, from the part description to the ERP number to the dimension to everything can be stored within the variant. So now we are giving the users a lot more flexibility to manage the information. So there, the new parts management. And we've integrated the Epulse connection into our new Eplan Platform 2022. First of all, when you log into, or when you install and start Eplan for the first time, you will be asked to log into your Epulse account. So again, creating an Epulse account and getting into Epulse is free. So you can easily create an account and get in there. And also, when you get an installation of Eplan, you will have an organization assigned to you. So when you start Eplan, you will be asked to sign in to Epulse, and that will give you access to all of your Epulse functionality, whether it's the data portal, eView for free, or any other applications such as eBuild or even EManage. So you'll see here in your Epulse ribbon, you will have all of the icons that are displayed specific to the ones that you have available. So all of the free icons or the free applications are going to be there available to you. You can visualize your profile, and you can also access the environment quickly and easily. So here in Eplan, you just simply go to Epulse, and the first time you will have to open up the dashboard so it can read all of the applications that you have access to. But once you have done that, then you'll have these applications available to you. So whether you're looking at your data portal, simply click on the data portal and that will be available here. Or you want to access your eView or your eBuild, these apps from Epulse, from our cloud-based solutions, are available to you directly integrated into the ribbons in our new user interface 2022. So that was a summary of the new functions and features surrounding our new user interface available with the Eplan Platform 2022. Now let's jump into EManage. So we have, with the new platform 2022, also the access to EManage Free. And EManage Free was actually launched a few weeks ago, and you have access today with the version 2.9 Service Pack 1. So what is EManage Free? EManage Free allows our customers to share projects securely in the cloud. You can create different folder structures or organize your projects either for individual or multiple projects so they can easily be shared. So the goal is to take an Eplan project, a ZW1 file, upload it to the cloud, and use the cloud functionality and all the cloud benefits, which are collaboration and ease of access, and make that available to all of our users. So if you have a ZW1 file that you want to share with somebody, you don't have to upload it to eView anymore. You upload it to EManage, and another user that you share access with can now log into EManage, see that project, and download the ZW1 file and use it right there and then. So it really provides you a complete new collaboration environment, not on a visual basis, but actually on a project basis. So imagine if you're an operator and you want to provide templates to your suppliers. Well, you can take that template as a ZW1 file, upload it in the cloud in EManage, and make it available to everyone that needs to work on that project. Or if you want to take a project that you've completed and upload it back to EManage to provide it to your operator, you can do the same. So EManage Free really provides you a lot of benefits in terms of collaboration. So you can easily share the projects. It's secure collaboration. So user permissions can be set for projects, giving an additional level of security over email, keeping control of intellectual property, meaning that you can specify exactly who and from which organization can access the project in EManage. It has a complete eView integration, so end users can either download the entire project via EManage, or with seamless integration to eView, can mark up using redlining, greenlining in a multi-user environment. So you don't need to work in eView anymore. You can take your project, upload it to EManage, manage your projects in the cloud, and then select the projects you want to view as well through eView. So that's a complete integrated environment where now EManage stores your ZW1 files, and also eView can visualize those files so that you can easily collaborate from that perspective. And creating folder structures. You can organize those projects into various different folders. So I can take a project, store it in a company specific folder or multiple of them, and I can actually make that folder available to a specific user in EU. So EManage Free is available to upload, store, and share ZW1 files, complete eView integration. You can make comments on specific files, and you can also do an internal or external sharing of the file, and complete user management to define who has access to it. So welcome to EManage Free, and let's jump into the software and take a look. So now with the platform 2022 or also version 2.9 Service Pack 1, you have access to EManage Free. So if I click on it here, a dialog opens up and I can see my environment now in the cloud. So here I see all the projects that I've uploaded so far in the cloud. And if I'm looking at a folder, I could create a new folder and say customer project or customer one projects. And that project has been now created in the cloud. So this customer project, if I open it up, I can see the project that are in there, or I can take a project and simply move it into this customer project. So via drag and drop, quick and easy, I can now view the project. So this is the project that I moved into that folder, and if I need to go back to the main folder, easy navigation. When I click on a specific project, you'll notice I have the ability to open that project in the platform, which means that from the cloud, it'll download that ZW1 file, it will restore it and make it available in Eplan for me to start working on it. Or I can open up the details, or I can even open it in eView. So this project, by clicking it, will launch eView, and I can visualize that project in eView quickly and easily. Or if I want to, I can even delete this project. But if I select the project, I can now, of course, go to shared with. And this shared with allows me to share this specific project with various different users. So here we've got a complete user management environment where I can create users or invite users, and this allows me to easily share that specific project. So again, EManage is the latest application available in Epulse for you to use and try, and it provides a really nice collaboration environment for users of the platform to easily upload the projects into the cloud as a ZW1 file and easily share those projects with anybody around the world that have access to the internet. So no more emails, no more back and forth of sending files. Now you can just take a ZW1 file, upload it to the cloud, and access it from there. And using the browser, of course, you can also access that information. And if you have a ZW1 file, even without the platform, you can, via drag and drop into the browser, also upload that ZW1 file into the cloud, allowing other users with Eplan to quickly access it. So from my side, Sean Patrick Mulherrin, thank you very much for your attention. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I am looking forward to welcoming you into our beta phase, which will be starting soon, in regards to test driving the software and getting your feedback. So from my side, thank you very much, and you have a wonderful week at the Hanover Fair, virtually.